And in business, China's commercial and financial hub, Shanghai, trying to revive its economy, still suffering from a 2-month lockdown. It's launching 8 infrastructure projects with a total investment of nearly $260 billion. Now, these include deep-sea offshore wind power projects and a transport hub in Pudong. Shanghai's economy slumped nearly 14% in the second quarter, the most among Chinese province-level regions. For more details on this infrastructure spending, we're joined now by Gary Ng. He is senior economist at Natixis. Thanks, Gary, for joining us. First up, there have been numerous stimulus initiatives and packages for Shanghai. The most recent was in May. There were 50 new support measures announced. Does today's announcement mean that the previous one didn't work?
Definitely, it shows the fact that the government is trying really hard to improve the economic situation. I guess the Chinese economy is facing 2 problems right now. And if we focus only on Shanghai, it's really first, the zero COVID policy has continued to weigh on many parts of the economy. And even the government wants to boost the sentiment in consumption, and also private investment is simply not as easy. And therefore, it comes to the fact that it's much easier if the government just take the initiative and just roll out all these infrastructure projects to actually boost growth in a short period of time. So definitely there is a trade-off between the zero COVID policy of the heavy cost that is involved versus the rising government debts that we may be able to see in the future. So it shows that the state will actually play a greater role in terms of the stimulus, but there are still many challenges in terms of other areas in the economy.
So how would you rate the significance of this latest commitment? How much will it help Shanghai and the national economy?
I think this is similar to the national trend that we see in many provinces, or even from the central level, is that the government is trying to mobilize existing resources, trying to issue more bonds, and together from a national level, there will be another 1 trillion bonds being issued in the total second half of 2022. So definitely the Shanghai move is part of this stronger initiative in terms of using the hand of the state to mobilize infrastructure investment, and hopefully that will have a spillover effect towards consumption, towards private investment, and basically to improve the sentiment of the economy. So definitely it is the news is quite positive for Shanghai. However, my concern is still that the cost of zero COVID is not that easy to measure, and then the spillover effect towards residents and corporate are still here. So basically the phantom or the uncertainties over all these economic activities and pressure will continue to stay. So it's on the one hand, it's helpful, but on the other hand, we still need to wait for the like a real change in policy to actually see a real improvement in the general economic recovery path.
Okay, so you mentioned that August jumbo stimulus of 1 trillion renminbi. How soon do you think these will actually start to feed into higher growth for China?
Actually, we already start to see basically certain improvement in different areas in the economy. For example, if we look at some of the metrics in the past few months, the key driver among different sectors is really infrastructure. And what is behind that is really the state and state-owned companies, or basically the government are investing more into those sectors. So I would say that the effect has begun to fit into the economy. However, for that 1 trillion stimulus to further basically have a broader influence in the economy, we probably still need to wait for another 1 or 2 quarters. It's simply because it's not easy to have the right projects and implement that in that short period of time. Especially, you still have that uncertainties over whether the construction will be halted in the short run because of this on and off compulsory testing, or basically the general COVID policy in China. So therefore, I think the mechanism in terms of channeling this stimulus will still be a little bit lack, but still it will be helpful in terms of boosting the economy in the probably we'll see the impact from Q4.
Gary, thanks for sharing your thoughts. Gary Ng, Chief Economist at Natixis.